The loss of man's best friend sent one of modern cinema's notorious hitmen on a rampage across a successful series of films that's set to return in 2022, but what if the pooch was taken out of the line of fire? The John Wick franchise started off with the callous slaying of the title character's dog, but there was a time when the movie producers thought better and wanted it removed. Here's the aftermath of such a request. The John Wick franchise has not only reinvigorated Keanu Reeves' career, but tells an origin story that hits close to home, as the loss of his child in 1999 and his then-girlfriend Jennifer in 2001 have sad parallels to the death of John Wick's wife Helen and his dog Daisy. However, the producers requested the removal of this plot point, but the movie's directors, Chad Stahelski and David Leitch, thought otherwise. It was seen by the directors as a means of humanizing the character, because otherwise, John Wick would have been simply an unsympathetic killing machine. The screenwriter Derek Kolstad felt the same way when he first wrote the script as a spec. He explains to Gary Collison at Flickering Myth, saying, quote, "I found myself asking the random question of myself, what would you do if someone did something to Loki or Isis, my two mutts? And the answer, terrible, terrible things," end quote. Long before John Wick was greenlit by Thunder Roads Pictures, during the writing stage, Kolstad took inspiration from a real-life tragedy. Enter Marcus Luttrell, a former Navy SEAL who was present during 2005's Operation Red Wings in Afghanistan. A man who later co-authored Lone Survivor, the eyewitness account of Operation Red Wing and the Lost Heroes of SEAL Team 10, which became both a New York Times bestseller and was later adapted into a 2013 film starring Mark Wahlberg. A man who reflects John Wick in many ways, as he was a victim of a similar incident on April 1st, 2009 in Huntsville, Texas. He owned a therapy dog to help him recover from his time fighting against the Taliban. His therapy dog was a yellow Labrador puppy named Daisy, which was an acronym for his fallen comrades: Danny Dietz, Matthew Axe Axelson, Southern Boy, Luttrell's nickname, and Michael Yankee Murphy. She was integral to his recovery, as he confessed that he wasn't talking about his ordeal and was struggling to sleep. Sadly, Daisy was attacked in Luttrell's front lawn, and he took off in his car in hot pursuit, armed with a 9mm pistol. Despite a recent surgery, nothing stopped him from chasing them across 3 Texas counties. During the chase, Luttrell told the Houston Chronicle that he called the local authorities to get somebody out here, because if I catch them, I'm gonna kill them. Although Luttrell eventually lost sight of them, fortunately, the suspects Alfonso Hernandez and Michael Edmonds were apprehended by the Texas Rangers. Hernandez and Edmonds were convicted in 2012 for cruelty to a non-livestock animal, as well as driving without a license. And so, with 2 directors and the screenwriter in favor of this sequence to be included, the producers backed down, and it was left to the audience to make the final verdict. The test screenings were positive, and the attack on Daisy remained in the final cut of the film. John Wick was released in the fall of 2014 and was greeted with an overwhelming response, praised for the film's action, visual style, pace, and especially Keanu Reeves' performance in the titular role. The motif for avenging the callous attack and subsequent loss of a dog has been the focal point of many reviews, as Matt Goldberg points out in his review for Collider, where he says that taking the life of a dog is, quote, even worse because it's on par with killing a child. It is a defenseless, uncomplicated, undeniably adorable creature who exists only to provide love and affection, and if you kill it, then as an audience, we will accept any and all repercussions visited upon the perpetrator. Wick has license to do whatever he wants, not only to Iosif, but anyone who stands in the way of Wick getting to his target. Goldberg's words were indeed true, because as quick as a snap neck, the audience became devoted supporters of Wick's personal vendetta across 3 successful movies, and are sure to continue supporting him in his 4th outing in 2022. And so, Daisy's swift exit was a stroke of genius on the filmmaker's part. Not only that, but things turned out well for both John Wick and his inspiration. Not only did John Wick obtain a puppy in the movie's closing scene after saving it from euthanasia, but Luttrell has since bought another yellow Labrador named Rigby as his therapy dog. If the producers had won the battle and removed that plot point, chances are that the movie would not have continued past the first picture. John Wick himself would have been simply a soulless, heartless, and emotionless killing machine with zero depth. This would leave the audience with nothing to resonate, and John Wick would have been just another cookie-cutter, action-packed B-movie that may still have gained a cult following, but unlikely to spawn a string of successful sequels, nor a television spin-off from Starz that will focus on the network of hotels for assassins titled of course, the Continental, which is scheduled to be on our screens by 2021. But fans can rejoice that such an outcome never came about, and since then, the producers had come around to liking the scene themselves, as during the audience test screening, Kolstad says, quote, "As soon as the dog died, and seeing their reaction, and then seeing the siege in the house, we were like, yep, we were right," end quote. So we, the audience, nor the filmmakers have to worry about any producers pulling similar tricks on John Wick's future. Trust the gut instinct of a filmmaker, and they'll deliver. So what do you think? Do you agree? Or do you think that there should have been another way? Could the loss of Helen suffice? Or would you have preferred a man on his last mission storyline? Tell us what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to ScreenRant for even more John Wick action.